GM.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Alpha Mint. Have you been working on it?
I'm working on it. These things need to come from the heart. It's funny because anytime someone goes, "Monkey, perform," I hiccup and I lose it. It needs to be one of these spontaneous from the heart and the passion things. So it'll come. It'll happen.
Every day I say, you want to leave us with anything, and you nailed the good luck at the tables. So,
You know what I've been doing recently, and it ruins me for like 10 minutes afterwards. I've been saying good luck at the table. I don't know why I can't get that S in there for some reason, the way my brain works.
Oh, you're stalling out in the last 5 meters.
Yeah, well said. So I'm really, if you're going to hear me emphasize that S today. It's going to be
tables.
an S day. Tables. Zaza.
You got your coffee or latte this morning? What are you drinking?
I am drinking a latte today.
Yeah.
Thanks, a latte. Yes, I use that. Latte. I use that joke at the coffee shop often. I usually get an eye roll, but every once in a while I get a smile.
You got it. Yeah, I'm sure they hear that like 5 times a day.
Yeah,
it's like that. In restaurants, you'd be like, "Oh, can I get you anything else?" They're like, $1 million. I'm like, me too.
When restaurants were closing and the waiter was bringing us the check, my grandfather would always say, "Hey, thank you. You could take the rest of the day off." He loved that. That was just.
That's actually kind of funny. I've never heard that.
Well, it just shows how dad you are now, because
I like it.
Yeah, no matter where we were, if a place was closing, if we were take the rest of the day.
You were those people. Yeah,
we were.
Oh man, yeah. No, you get really good in the restaurant industry at having like your fake customer service laugh. You're like, "Oh, good one, Jerry."
Wait a minute.
I haven't heard you say that every week for the last 3 fucking years, man.
You're saying none of these waiters found me hilarious?
Maybe some of them did. Yeah, you know what? It was always fun when you actually genuinely develop a rapport with your guests. That's when things get fun. Like when you grow a community around a restaurant, and you really kind of just vibe with the people you're coming in with. Like I managed the restaurant like that, and it was just like. I mean, it was still a grind. It was still a restaurant, but it was a lot of fun to like see all of the familiar faces. Like it was a good time.
Restaurants and NFTs clashing today in a wondrous way. I'm excited to see this.
I'm excited to talk about it. I have some thoughts on this, and I think it's going to be successful.
Yes. This is a very cool attempt that they are doing. And if we talk about, NFTs as the new social clubs, this seems like a natural extension here.
Yeah. And I mean, let's not forget the Gary Vee effect that's coming along for the ride, right? So
certainly, I mean, his VaynerMedia has an arm that just introduces traditional companies to NFTs, and business is brisk right now. Let's say that.
Yeah, he's man, that guy is so good at just positioning himself like just on the bottom of that curve up in popularity. Like he just really kind of like hits all of those strides. And I mean, at this point, he's kind of got the audience to manifest it into reality too.
Yeah.
Hi, Luce, GM. Good to see you in here. Keep clicking that button. I like that you could like pull the chat up on here. That's I miss seeing people's profile pictures on there. We got to get people to. I was gonna say hologram, put your profile picture on there, but you never had one anyways, so I guess that doesn't really count.
Right, that is his profile picture.
Yeah, I guess just a little H, but it's kind of cool that you can pull the comments up and kind of talk about them. But,
all right, someone asked me about this collection the other day. I believe it was the young King Thor who joined. He joined Thor Torrens. He joined our Alpha Mint squad a few weeks ago. He asked me. Yeah, he asked.
I didn't even see him.
Yes, he's known as Thor Cellular. We all have our own little nicknames in there. Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay.
Cool. Yeah, and I believe it was him, correct me if I'm wrong, Thor, but someone asked me about peaceful groupies, and I had totally confused it with a different collection. And I love peaceful groupies, first of all. I think this art is underappreciated. It is owned, and there is a fabulous derivative that was dropped in the Degen dojo yesterday. Peaceful Toads. It was either Peaceful Toads or Peaceful Frogs. Hold on. Yeah, Peaceful Toads, which is a Cryptoads and Peaceful Frogs mashup. That is next level. Gremplin did a 1-of-1 for them. And oh Lord, I need this 1-of-1 in my life. I don't know what I'm going to have to do to get it. But let me drop it right now in our general chat down in the Alpha Mint base camp.
I have mixed feelings about Gremplin and derivative Toad projects.
Why did he support Ninja Toads?
Yes, he did. That was the big thing. That's why everybody ate in, was that he followed them on Twitter, minted them. There was like 3,300 supply. Everyone's like, "Oh shit! Like this has got the stamp of approval." It minted out, and then he promptly unfollowed them and sold them all.
Well, did he make them a 1-of-1?
No, he didn't. I mean, that's definitely more of a signature, but
another collection. I always talk about Breakfast World. Okay, this one hasn't quite gone where I thought it was going to go yet. It's still sitting at the price Breakfast World. So Gremplin did a 1-of-1 for Breakfast World as well. There is a sick Gremplin 1-of-1 in there. I think Peaceful Groupies, to go back to my original point, is a collection that's going to have a run this year if they haven't started already. It looks like it's prime for Coinbase. And man, I love the art. I go through these things. I see so many that I want. I would put these on my wall.
Maybe it's time to get that display up there and do it.
It's
free market 935. You want to do your drum roll thing? GM, everybody, and welcome to the Friday, January 7th edition of the Alpha Mint Morning Show, hosted live on YouTube and Twitch. I think that we are in for a wonderful Friday. We got a really good show for you. Lots of news coming out. We got a lot of news segments we're going to talk about. But, kind of go a little bit of a different direction than just going through all of the projects that have been going up and to the right this past week. I am your host, R2 Degen, joined with me, as always, by the ultimate Lemon Maxi free market capitalist.
Yes, sir. Hey now.
Hey, now we're here for the last episode of the week, and we've got, like I said, a great show for you. Also, at some point, we're going to be giving away a shiny new Moon Lounge pass, courtesy of Alpha Mint, to one lucky viewer. We're going to do it the same way as we did before, but that's going to be exciting too. It's selling for 0.15 right now on the marketplace, and we've had some good sales on Alpha Mint too. I want to also take the time to welcome any new members that have jumped in. We've had some really good people join us so far, start contributing in the Degen Dojo. We're talking to them. I'm going to set up a little bit of a cocktail hour next week for some of the new members too. We did like a meet and greet last wave that was a lot of fun. We're going to do that again. So thank you so much for joining us. And as always, if you're thinking about joining the Moon Lounge, we have tons of great stuff going on in there all of the time. So if you ever have any questions, feel free to just DM Free Market or myself. You're going to have to send us a friend request on Discord first, but that is just good practice. How are you doing today?
I am doing wonderful. It is a snowy day here in New York City. I believe we have at least 3 inches, if not 4, on the ground. It is a winter wonderland all of a sudden, out of nowhere.
It was 58 degrees here 2 days ago up in Canada. All of our snow melted. Everything turned to mud. It has now dropped down to 20 degrees. I'm doing rough calculations in Fahrenheit, but it has gone from very, very mild to very, very cold, and still no snow on the ground here. So you know what? I like the winter. I don't love the cold, but if it's going to be winter, I do like snow on the ground.
Yeah, got to have that nice snowy background. And it looked like we were going to have a very cold December, maybe get a white Christmas. And then, like you said, it just warmed up to 60 degrees. Made no sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, I mean,
We're
this is the time we live in, and you could probably thank the NFTs for global warming. I think that's the hot topic these days.
Oh, good. NFTs. I thought we were a meteorological show for a minute. Back to NFTs.
Yeah, we'll start doing a weather segment. You know, what's the temperature in Portland today, free market?
420. Wait.
No, that's hot. Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. All right. Do you want to get into the show?
Sure.
Let's do it. We've got to pull up the screen here. We are going to talk about cryptocurrency. We are still in a bit of a world of hurt right now. Ethereum has been flirting with that $3,000 mark. It's been a pretty sharp decline. If you were shilling crypto to your family at Christmas, this is probably not a good look right now. Bitcoin is also kind of flirting with a major support level of 40,000, but they seem to be holding there. I don't think the chart's looking overly good, but who knows? I mean, this is one of those things. We could be in the final leg of a shakedown before up only. We could bounce back to just, where we were last week. It's kind of all on the table right now, I think.
Trying to pick a bottom is like catching a falling knife, as they say. And in crypto, these knives move much faster and are much sharper. Crypto can go down 40% in a week, rise 100% the next week, and it would be like it never happened. So it's very hard to say. There's a lot of support here between 2,800 and 3,000. I personally would expect it to not go even, lower than that. But anything is possible here. Nothing on the long-term chart has changed. Nothing about the long-term thesis has changed, but it looks like it is going to be short-term pain for those who are long coins and not allocated to JPEGs.
Yeah, I mean, JPEGs, as we've seen, not struggling at all in the last week, but it does feel like the crypto markets are kind of matching that macro thesis that's going on. Equities in the traditional markets are hurting right now too. But it's so hard to actually gauge where sentiment is, right? Like if you're spending time on Twitter, kind of as you said, like people kind of just tweet whatever's like in vogue at that moment, right? Like, we're all dead, and like, oh, we're back, like I don't know, what you are you following that? Is that something that kind of seeps into your mindset when you're looking at this stuff, or is it all just noise?
Crypto people are a different breed, and in traditional markets you do get extremes, and you do get people who tweet out things that are obviously a lot more extreme than what's going on in front of you. But crypto Twitter takes it to a new level. And it makes it a little harder to gauge sentiment, because we either go from, up only, we're going to Jupiter, or we're going to zero. There is no in between, right? So crypto Twitter is now very, very bearish. They're being a little cheeky about it, but telling everybody to get their McDonald's hats ready and all that good stuff. So at the very least, I think sentiment is getting to a point where it can't get much more bearish. I think one last leg down to 2,800 would certainly scare the heck out of people, and that could be a nice bottom to carve out. But I think if you are in the Ethereum economy and you believe in Ethereum long term, all these moments are an opportunity to stack as much Ethereum as possible. I had a lemonition the other day about what was going to happen this year. I believe crypto will be in a relatively tight range for crypto, where Bitcoin will stay between 30 and 50,000, and Ethereum will stay between 3 and 5. And we may get short temporary pokes above and below those levels, but I don't think we will move hard in either direction. I think this is a year of consolidation, which only benefits the underlying assets priced in those coins.
Yeah, I gotta say, a year of consolidation wouldn't bother me. I know it's nice to see those prices go up and to the right, but it doesn't feel like we ever reached that peak euphoria phase, especially just in the like traditional crypto. I've been through the 2017, 2018 boom bust cycle, and it is painful. I mean that like was like ultra peak euphoria where the top like got like insane highs just in the span of 2-3 weeks, and then the next call it 36 months were a lot of pain. So I would take a slow steady growth at this point over that, if I'm being honest with you. That's my
I actually don't think 2017 will ever happen again in a similar way. I think it was a very special moment when a new asset class emerged that wasn't being taken seriously. And I don't think that's ever going to happen again. I think regardless of what people say, crypto is taken seriously now. And that's not a guarantee that, blockchains are going to succeed in the way that everybody says they will. But I do think that crypto is now a force. So you will not see minus 80% and then sideways for 3 years. I just don't think that's going to happen. I truly believe we are in 1992. If we were going to use an analogy to Web 1.0, I believe we are in 1992. That doesn't mean it's going to be 8 years before the bubble pops. I mean that more in the development of the technology, how much the masses have adopted it, where the friction points were for, say, the internet and computers in 1992, where they are for crypto now. And I actually think it's a very apt analogy. I know DC Investor made the same one, but this is something I've thought for a while. It feels like the early 90s here. And hey, if you look at the S&P from the early 90s until the bubble did pop in 99, it wasn't straight up. There were some scary moments. Even in 97, 98, there was some really big drawdowns where people thought tech was over and that the NASDAQ bubble had popped. So it is not going to be straight up. Bull markets climb walls of worry. And believe me, if everyone was looking at this decline and saying, fuck it, no worries, we're going back up, don't worry about it, you're lucky people are saying we're going to zero, because the day they don't, we're going to zero.
Hey, great point. I'm just wondering how much explaining we have to do to part of our viewership that the internet didn't always exist for the mid 90s. I mean, like hearing that, I'm trying to do the math. I'm like, oh yeah, that was like 10, 15 years ago. I'm like, no, 20. Oh my God.
I remember when Papa FMC brought home the IBM 5000. I mean, this thing must have been $25,000 in today's dollars. I think it was $5,000 at the time. It ran on DOS. I don't know if anyone in the audience knows what DOS is, but you had to backslash command your way to things. And the only color on the screen was green. You got to choose from green or orange at the time, which were cool. I love that. We love that nostalgic look now, don't we? We see it in a lot of NFTs.
I'm almost like now that we're talking about it, seeing a parallel. You're talking about crypto and Web3 and kind of doing the drawback to or the throwback to Web 1 in the 90s and whatever. And like I almost see that parallel of NFTs being like the PC gaming component of it. Like I know it's not the same thing. Obviously, NFTs have a huge gaming component to it. But eventually there was almost this like point where it flipped, where gaming was getting more people into computers than computers were leading to people playing games. I think NFTs have a lot of parallel in that. And if we're getting to the point where people are taking crypto seriously, we're probably at that same point where people aren't taking the gaming aspect of it or NFT aspect of it as seriously. Oh, it's a fad. Nobody's going to make money playing video games. Like you're wasting your time, blah, blah, blah. I'm starting to like piece it together the more you were talking about it. I don't know if you kind of see the same thing.
The last three major technologies in our lives advanced for unexpected reasons. Let's look at VCRs, let's look at computers, and now let's look at crypto, right? VCRs became popular because of pornography. It was the pornography industry that decided that VHS was going to be over Betamax. It was what they were going to go with, and it completely changed the direction of all movies. The movie industry was there were no tapes by movie companies at the times. These were for literally ripping stuff off of TV, right? This was not all, but once porn said, no, this is it, there was no way for anyone to get around it. They started making movies for your home viewing, and the entire media industry changed. And
Do you
we're
think they
seeing
would have chose Betamax if they had rebranded to Batermax?
no.
Okay, keep
So
going.
yeah, no. And then you look at computers, and to your point with gaming, right? And now I have said this for years, and I have been laughed out of a lot of crypto conversations. NFTs are the Trojan horse for crypto. We didn't expect it, but it's the best use case so far for your average person to get on the blockchain.
Yeah, it's with these companies making things so frictionless too. I think that I think in a roundabout way, NFTs are going to make more sense to people than like just pure crypto. And I think that it's a fantastic way. Like I said, when I was explaining to my mom when I left my job at a restaurant to come work for Alphamint full time, she's like, what are these NFT things? I don't get it. Like crypto, like is it real money? Blah blah blah. We started talking about it, and like I didn't, force anything on her. I just said, this is what it is. This is why I believe in it. And she started going down the rabbit hole too. And now she sends me articles all the time, like, "Oh, I thought this was interesting." And actually, this is a good segue into a conversation we're going to have. I was talking to her the other day, and she's like, "I think these NFT things could be really good for music." And I was like, "Well, funny you should say that." Now, obviously, this article came out after we had the conversation, but in the news today, we see rap legend Nas sells 2 songs as NFTs on DJ Blau or 3Lau, or maybe some debate. Somebody help me out with that. His Royal platform, American rapper and songwriter Nas is selling partial rights to 2 of his songs through the investment platform Royal. I love Nas. I'm sure you do too, with him being a native New Yorker. But he's a big deal in the rap space, even if he isn't quite as relevant as some people now. But we've talked about this in the past. Music is definitely going to have its time in NFTs. I don't think it's also going to be a quick meta fad, but rather a slow build into this. But the use cases for licensing, ownership of music, and all of those great things that we love NFTs for fit very, very nicely into music. What's your take on this?
So I think 2 trends this year you're going to see emerge in a big way are photography and music. Right? These are digital first mediums that have been sold in a non-digital media for a very long time. And I think that NFTs are the perfect avenue for these 2 industries to come into the future. I say this a lot, that every part of our life has gone digital, but we don't expect collectibles to do the same thing. I think that the idea ownership of the music you buy, I think it's profound. I think a lot of people are going to love it. And we know musicians, love to give perks and add-ons. And what better way than with NFTs, whether it's access to the musician, whether it's access to a concert. I think there's so much that we can do with music. And I think hardware, as I've said, is going to play a big role. I think there's a lot of interesting things that can be done and combined here, but we're kind of limited by how people display and show their NFTs currently. So I think that there is just so much advancement in these areas this year that photography and music are just going to be one of the big trends we talk about all year.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of like ability to distribute royalties to holders too. Like, if there's a band or a photographer that you kind of are in on early and they want to raise some funds to kind of keep their music career going and pay the bills and whatnot, maybe they could fractionalize and distribute one of their songs or an album out to NFT holders where there's some kind of distribution rights where NFT holders get 50% of all of the royalties of that song, the band gets the other 50%, and you kind of collaborate like that, and they get some upfront capital to keep the music going. If that band ever blew up into mainstream music, and all of a sudden their songs are being played in commercials, and Apple is paying $5 million to have it as the forefront of their marketing push, and now all of a sudden these initial supporters of it are benefiting greatly from it. I think those are super interesting concepts, and with the smart contracts and decentralization and these marketplaces that are popping up, I think it's all totally possible.
Yeah, and it's going to happen. This is so, I think, such a good avenue for musicians that this is really this is spectacular.
Yeah. So watch out for music trends. We're going to do some deeper dives on that in the future, no doubt, as these platforms really start to get rolling. I can't imagine NAS is going to be the last one to do it as well. Some other news coming out. This one's pretty cool, and I think that this kind of ties into the last conversation we were having. GameStop hires 20-person team for gaming NFT marketplace. Stock surges. GameStop stock rose 31% in after-hours trading. This had been kind of alluded to, hinted at. There were some job postings up on GameStop, implying that they were going to be hiring a team for this. And it turns out that it is fully coming to fruition. I'm not envisioning this being like some kind of OpenSea marketplace where you're trading wolf game NFTs or anything, but rather I think that this is the obvious spot for companies like if Fortnite or Call of Duty or EA has hinted at NFTs and stuff like that, with their cosmetics or their trading cards and stuff like that. If those companies ever pivot into NFT models, giving the digital asset ownership over to the person that's actually bought them, GameStop having a pre-existing marketplace is probably the no-brainer place for those companies to start interacting with. It's a publicly traded company. It's going to have gone through all of the proper regulatory hoops with the SEC and are going to be fully compliant. The existing public companies also have to do the same thing. This just seems like a match made in heaven to me.
Yeah, this is the preeminent meme stock, which defined a generation of investors. And we're talking about the preeminent meme industry in crypto. This would be a marriage made in heaven. This would, in my opinion, justify the rise we've seen in GameStop stock. We know that it's mainly been on the back of a short squeeze where too many hedge funds were betting against it. And regardless of the underlying health of the company, the way the mechanics of the stock market work, you can squeeze those guys out of their position. Right now, I think this begins to justify the rise in GameStop stock if this is something they're actually going to pivot into. Whoever at the company came up with this initiative, I think it's brilliant. This person should be promoted and given a bonus if this goes through. I am so bullish on the prospects of GameStop getting into NFTs and gaming NFTs in particular. I think it would be an absolute phenomena if it happened.
I agree. I also agree on the point that give that person a gigantic raise if they haven't already. But GameStop, just ever since it kind of came into meme stock territory with Wall Street Bets, was it early last year? Probably around this time last year, actually. They seem to have actually done all of the right things. I mean, the stock went up to like $300 and something. They, liquidated some of their holdings to pay off their debts. They've restructured the shape of the company, and now they are pivoting into a Web3 marketplace. Amongst other things, they're taking big stances in esports as well. And they just now seem to be at the forefront of all of the major trends that are happening. So big credit.
The most important characteristic one can have in business is the ability to adapt, right? Mm-hmm. GameStop had to sit there and look at what was happening, and you had a few choices, right? One is you stay the course, you try to play the old Wall Street game, you say that these, meme kids are just a fad and a trend and it's not to be paid attention to, or you embrace it, or you say, you know what, let's become the meme. And that's risky. No question. I'm sure there are a lot of people at the company that were against it. They may still be against it. It's very risky. I applaud GameStop. I hope they do it. I think the ability to adapt is the most important thing most important quality a business or a board can have. And I applaud what GameStop is doing here.
Yeah, I think it's they've gone from a company that was all but dead into something that's going to be riding the Web3 wave into probably a lot of success. So good for them. Another one that popped up, like I said, lots of news today. NFT farming game is clogging up Ethereum scaling solution Polygon. Polygon is built for crypto games, but Sunflower Farmer's sudden surge in players is spiking gas fees and slowing transactions. We've said this a lot too. There's all these networks that seem really, really great in theory because they're faster, they have lower transaction fees, and they work really well. And then all of a sudden they start getting used, and the same problems that plague Ethereum kind of hit those chains as well. So, it's important to have some perspective into what, I've never even heard of Sunflower Farmers. They've had an increase of 430,000 users over the past 7 days, which is a big deal. And they are clogging up Polygon. It kind of looks like a cool game, though. I've never heard of it.
Yep, never heard of it either. It looks very cool. I am not surprised it's clogging up Polygon. A single hair could clog up Polygon.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to go too deep into the Polygon discussion. I know that you don't love it, but it is there and it exists. The last piece of news that I have popped up was Samsung opens Metaverse store in Decentraland. Electronic giant Samsung has opened 837X, a virtual replica of its flagship 837 store in Metaverse platform Decentraland. We've talked about the value of Decentraland, or Metaverse properties in general, but now this is kind of coming to fruition in real time. Samsung is opening up their store for digital goods. It's going to be sold on within the metaverse, and I think that this is just the first step of these big companies that are going to be operating in prime real estate on the these metaverse blockchains.
Yeah, definitely. I'm this metaverse trend is huge right now, and we've seen the froth come out of it a bit, right? These got really ahead of themselves on the back of Facebook renaming themselves to Meta, and now we've seen so many alt metaverse plays that have launched. They cooled off a bit, and now they're just ramping like crazy, whether it's Web3, NanoPass, I don't think has come back yet. It was all the way up to 1.7, but along with music and photos, this is just going to be another huge trend this year.
What would you think is the next big company to open up a store in the metaverse?
The next big company to open a store in the metaverse, who would be most primed? Fashion makes a lot of sense, right? So I actually think it's going to be somebody like Gucci or Louis Vuitton. I'll say Louis Vuitton.
I think that could be a really good choice, actually. Straying away from the obvious choices of like Nike and Adidas, I do think that some kind of iconic fashion brand that'll be releasing digital gear is going to be ripe for the picking. So that's very cool stuff. I love to see these companies jump in there. I know that there's some people that'll say, we don't need them. They're just old traditional companies. They're just trying to play along. But again, it's legitimacy.
Well, guess who works for Louis Vuitton and is under contract with them? That would be none other than Takashi Murakami, who is also under contract with Artifact. I am sure there has been a phone call or conversation or two. And if you don't think wealthy people want to wear those brands in the metaverse as well as in real life, you're crazy. I think these are the obvious, because they can make such great headlines by charging like $100,000 for a meta dress, right? Someone will buy it. It'll be that this headline will go all around the world. Do you know what this is going to do for NFTs? I mean, it's huge.
I'm just seeing in the chat right now, maybe you had a missed opportunity to show your Lemon Maxi standpoint and say like Little Lulu Lemon Friends or something.
Well, that is what we are targeting as one of the first partnerships for Little Lemon Friends would be Little Lululemons, which would be a kids line of yoga and athletic wear featuring, of course, our favorite Little Lemon Friends.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I hope above all other partnerships that Lemons could do, that's the one that happens. I think it's like absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, Lululemon, 7 Up, Netflix, all of that's going to happen. Time Magazine, next companion to Cool Cats. Shout out Keith Grossman, you the man.
Keith, yeah. All right, let's move into NFTs now. We've kind of beaten the news cycle to death. Let's look at WGMI. Won't go too deep into this one, but I will say this. Leading the charge, Monday chart just got overtaken, but is the EtherOrcs Genesis.
Who overtook them? Oh, this goddamn Alcadabras. Now, I got to say, I love Alpacadabras. They look phenomenal. Shout out to King Lucas, okay, who called this a few weeks ago when they were under 0.1. This was a collection that launched at the wrong time, was bought by a bunch of whales. The whales have even tweeted about it. They're not even hiding it, but it's just it happens often where there are so many blind spots in the market. We talked about orcs earlier, which may be starting to get their due, but anything under 5e is a joke, in my opinion. But Alpacadabras, Pranksy loves these things. People always ask me, what makes you interested in a collection? When I see the people who I look up to get excited about something, gets me excited. It's when I start looking at something. So Alpacadabras, they're fun, they're stupid. They're owned by whales, and shout out to King Lucas for that call. They are now sitting comfortably above 10x from where he told us all to ape.
Yeah, I can't believe I never seen these, but yeah, 0.9 floor. These look pretty good.
They're fun.
They're
stupid,
kind of floating around. I just never clicked on the link, but yeah. So they overtook EtherOrcs on the 1 day floor, but not a big deal. EtherOrcs having quite a day themselves. They are fast approaching a 2 ETH floor, but I think the biggest news of the day coming out of EtherOrcs is the 20 ETH Orc God Sale that happened just about an hour before we started the show. This is sitting, or that was sitting at $64,000 with the price of ETH right now. If this had been a couple days ago, it would have been $80,000, but I'm sure we'll get back to that point. This one looks pretty good. How are you doing though? Are you coping okay?
Well, this is very difficult for me. At least someone could finally cope with me, because Lucas had been eyeing this beautiful orc. He was actually going to buy it this weekend, just waiting for some things to move around, and somebody snatched it from right underneath him. As orcs are now just ramping like crazy. If you guys don't know, a big whale, Blumenthal, had just been mercilessly sweeping these things every time the floor started to drop. Not just the EtherOrcs, but the EtherOrc allies, which right now are shamans, of which there are only 9 left for sale on OpenSea right now. And I just, these are criminally undervalued. It's one of the largest blind spots in the market to not recognize these as the blue chips they are. I did miss out on Orc Gods, which certainly hurts every time I see one go for this price. And as I always like to say, it's sold for 20E, but now the floor on EtherOrcs is 30. And I do expect the next one to sell between 30 and 50 ETH as EtherOrcs finally get recognized for the blue chip status that they have.
Do you want to go in a little bit in depth as to why this stings so much for you, for some of our newer listeners?
Back during the first phase of the orc game, as there's been a few phases, it was the minting phase. And you had 2 options with your orcs. You could either farm them to earn Zug, which you could use to mint more orcs, or you could level them, which would allow you to then raid certain loot pools for rare items. Now, these rare items would multiply how much Zug you earned. So that was the very valuable utility they had, but it also rarefied the orcs. It was basically deciding rarities by which loot you would get, and it was up to you how often you would roll and which loot pool you would go for. So to go for the final loot pool, which was unannounced originally while there were rumors and people could dig into the code and see there was something there, they announced Orc Gods, which was the final loot pool, of which you had to be leveling from the second the game started until Orc Gods opened. And Orc Gods opened. I had gotten a tip earlier in the day that you had to go to a different line on the contract to mint them. It wasn't the traditional line we were using to mint the other orcs. I was ready. All of Alpha Mint hopped on voice chat. I closed all my other programs except the contract, and I completely fumbled the bag. There was one step which was called claiming your level, and I did not claim my level. None of my transactions would go through. I was being quoted, 4 ETH worth of gas, and all odds were minted underneath me. And the problem with this was, to go for Orc Gods, I had to sacrifice leveling up any of my other orcs with this rare loot. You either had a choice. You go all in for Orc Gods, or you start peeling off before the last loot pool and rarify them with some of the less rare loot. In fact, the loot pool right before gave you an automatic plus 27 Zug, and the best you could have done with Orc Gods was plus 30. So if you were thinking from a Zug standpoint, it was stupid to go for Orc Gods. There was absolutely no reason. But if you look at the collectible value of one of these gods, now at a 30 ETH floor after just selling one for 20 ETH earlier today, you could see where the value is, and these will have more utility throughout the game, certain powers. That is my story with Orc Gods. It still hurts. It is a cautionary tale for all.
Yeah, you know what? It was you had quite the cheering squad going on during that. That was I unfortunately it didn't break your way, but that was one of the most fun times in terms of like NFT gaming and communities rallying behind a cause that I can remember. I had zero skin in the Orc games. I actually still do have zero skin in it, but I mean, like, it was like our entire community was like sitting there watching you and hoping for the best. You had pretty good odds of succeeding, to not to rub salt in the wounds, but thinking about it, it's one of those they did such a great job of the risk reward proposition there. Like, there was a clearly defined choice of like what you had to do and what you were sacrificing in order to do it, whether or not it was going to pay off. And I think that was one of those like pivotal, seminal moments in early NFT gaming. If I think we'll look back on it.
Designing a game is so difficult, and the goal of any designer is to create parity. The idea of parity, right? In professional sports, if a team like the Yankees or a team like the Lakers is so good that it's not even a competition in their division, then it's just not fun to watch, right? It's like you just see someone dominate, they're going to win the championship that year. And sure, it's fun if you're a fan of the team, but what people love is parity. People want to see two basketball teams get in there, have a score within 3 points the whole game, and the last shot is dependent on some, crazy half-court throw or whatever. And this is what you want in all games. You want parity. You want there to be an equal shot for either side, and Orcs nailed that. They made the value proposition of choosing any of the possible paths and outcomes a choice. They made it like, maybe I should do this. Like, they gave you viable options. There was no quote unquote right strategy, unless your strategy just failed and you didn't execute what you were planning to do. But that's where I just tip my hat to these guys. They're game theorists of the highest order. They design this game so well, and they are the model that all others should and do follow.
Yeah, God, these look so good. I scroll through them, and these all started as base level orcs. I think the only one that was actually rare was the albino one.
Yes.
So those were a little more sought after.
Statistically rare. Yeah, yep. They had no extra utility, just statistically rare.
But they've updated when you've done the raids, finding the gear and stuff like that. And fuck, I mean, these just have turned into like such good, even just artistic NFTs as well.
Oh, it's some of the best pixel art out there. And go check out the EtherOrc allies. They're not all kitted out yet because we're still leveling up and journeying them to get their items. But look, they look so sick. These colors. I mean. Yep. they actually have better colors than the original EtherOrcs. Some really rich blues and some fire engine reds. And yeah, I mean, the art is not to be taken lightly here. These are absolutely phenomenal.
I mean, even just from like an artistic standpoint, what I love that they did is because these, you know, these characters take up so much of the square that they're allotted. They didn't even try and jam a background in there. They just kept it this clean white, like they pop, they look really good. And you could always see when people have them as their profile picture too. Like they definitely do stand out. I think they're great. I think it's great. This project has a ton of potential. The team continues to deliver in value. And hey, I mean, if you've stuck it out, continued to play the game, and now you're you know, participating in the EtherOrc allies and minting those, it's paying out for you now too, whether you hold them and hope for more or start to sell them. 0.8 ETH is not nothing.
No, and I mean, there was a time when farming Zug was the play, and I've always chose to take my Zug and apply it more into the game. I'm not in the biggest liquidity crunch. I love this stuff. I enjoy it. So at the beginning, I decided I'm always going to play the game, right? And now we can see that paying off. Had I sold the Zug, maybe I would be, and it depends because Zug was very volatile. For the last 2 weeks, it's been like 60 cents. So selling Zug then wasn't great, right? But now you can see as these allies are inching towards 1 ETH, turning that Zug into allies may have been the profitable play, but you had to wait. I mean, I'm not knocking anybody's strategy here. Like I said, Orcs have designed such a great game. There are no wrong strategies. And right now, I think the allies are even still undervalued when you consider that there's only 9 for sale, and they should end up being about half of what EtherOrcs are. I think they're already worth 0.91 ETH here, and going to keep right. They'll rise relative to Orcs too.
Yeah, I think that the only correct, like the best play other than playing to this point would have been like, I guess, selling initially, not them advocating for like just minting and dumping. But you know, I now think that we're reaching this amount of time invested and played into EtherOrcs where, you know, the price has kind of hit this stability and it's constantly going up, that we're now going to see a shift into continuing to play be the best play.
Certainly.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, exactly. And that's the point, right? I mean, it's almost like mining Bitcoin back in the day. There were many instances where it was more expensive than the electricity you were spending. You just had to believe that one day these assets were going to go up in value, right? I mean, that's really what I think believers of this game who decided to not just cash out Zug the whole time believed in. And to your point, had you sold your EtherOrcs immediately upon mint, and this is the hindsight play that we all like to do, you could have gotten 8 to 10 ETH, depending. I say 8th. I mean, I know a few went for 5 at the time, but you probably would have gotten 8 ETH. And had you waited until the bear market and said, I'm going to decide to 8 back into Orcs, that would have been better than playing the game. You could have bought them at 0.4. You could have taken that 10 ETH and really aped Orcs. Now, again, it's the hindsight play. Nobody knows the future. We didn't know the bear market would be so bad. We didn't know Orcs would go so low. But hey, that's certainly, if somebody decided to sell right away and not look back for a month and a half and then go, oh, wow, Orcs are 0.4, let me ape, that certainly would have been the most profitable play here. But given what Alpha Mint did, given our strategy, we took advantage of that first phase of the game better than any other group out there. We designed a strategy that allowed us to max mint the number of Orcs we could have minted had we just been farming, but it also allowed us to level up 1 Orc so we could all go for those rarer loot pools. It was the best case scenario for all of us.
Yeah, you know, honestly, I mean, it's hard to know when a bear market is coming and when the floor is going to fall out of everything. But I went into the last bear market with such low liquidity that I was watching these Orcs like drop. I'm like, I can't even spend this much on it. Like I wanted to, but yeah. But I mean, it's been a great project. I love talking about it. I love learning about it, and hearing people enjoy the success of it. Speaking of a project that had some lows more recently, Pudgy Penguins seems to be back on the rise. We saw the community, I think, vote to remove Cole from the team. There's still a lot of
sorry, go ahead.
No, love it. Keep going. Do it again. Yeah, Cole is quickly becoming a villain in the NFT space. Pudgy Penguins. I guess this is bullish news for them, starting to do the right thing. We saw them as low as I think 0.7, 0.8 the other day, bouncing back. It did hit over 2 ETH very briefly yesterday and has settled down to a 1.75. The biggest win I think here is starting to either those long-term holders of Pudgy Penguins who believed in them through all the bear market and all of that stuff are starting to get whole again after the founder drama, either having some great exit liquidity if they want to just divest themselves of this community now, or at least just in their their investment into the NFT kind of probably coming back above water again. This is a good sign. There's still a lot of debate as to what's going to happen with them. I think the most popular opinion right now is that these should just be forked, and the original Pudgy Penguins project kind of abandoned, and maybe turning them into Fudgy Penguins like the Funks. That would be pretty cool, flipping them around. I think the big reason for that being that they want to remove the royalties going to the original team, which makes a lot of sense, and then forming a DAO around the Pudgy Penguins and making it community controlled. As we mentioned yesterday, Beanie did throw in that 500 ETH offer. Have yet to see that accepted. We've also saw 9x9x9 turn down the price of, I think it was 888 ETH to buy the project outright. But yeah, you think Pudgy Penguins is seeing some life, or is this just a short-term play that people are kind of flipping into?
The story of Cole Ethereum is a bell curve. He started off as a scammer. Pudgy Penguins went to 5 ETH and he was lauded as a redemption story, and maybe we were wrong, and now he has ended his career as a scammer. So quite the bell curve there. Yesterday we talked about Pudgy Penguins, and I said put a pin in the project, it's dead. I also said I would sell this thing to Beanie or anybody interested, whether it was 9x9 or Beanie or anyone, in a second. They still have a huge community. They are still a meme. They were a huge story in 2021. So, all they needed to do was get rid of the bad vibes. And by getting rid of the old management, there go the bad vibes. I mean, this is the best thing that could have happened to the project. I am so happy for anyone that was stuck with a Pudgy Penguin bag that is either looking forward to the future now or can get out with a very nice 2 ETH on the floor there. So that's
what I
great.
I didn't realize, someone shared it in the dojo. I think it was Lucas, but I don't want to get that wrong. The Pudgy gifts that were as a drop, it was like these packages or eggs, or I can't remember what it was. And they revealed that it was these fucking fishing rods.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen that?
Yes, that was like, and
just how low effort can you get?
I had been hearing about these fishing rods for days, and I'm like, what is anybody even talking about? And yeah, I think that will be when we look back on history and they have a Wikipedia page about the original Pudgy Penguins, that will be the image at the top. I think it defines a movement. That fishing pole.
I just found the link to it now. I'm gonna pull it up. And of course, OpenSea is rugging me again today.
Rugging us all, my friend. Rugging us all.
It was such an exciting 2 days at the beginning of January where it just kind of worked.
Well, with the highest volume they had ever seen.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's like
miracle.
Now we're being punished for not spending enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Buy some more JPEGs, fund the servers.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about the Illuminati NFT that is revealing today. This is one that you and I were both very excited about. We shared some of the 1-of-1 art that they released on the stream the other day. And right now, the Illuminati pre-reveal is sitting at just, oh my God, I clicked refresh on OpenSea. That was fucking stupid of me. last I had it pulled up is 0.45. These things got as high as 0.7 very briefly there. There seems to be a lot of hype. There seems to be something underlying going on here too, mainly with the fact that these guys have @truth on a Twitter, and those are very, very difficult handles to get.
You either have a lot of money or connections, and I'll tell you, sit there and stare at your Illuminati NFT for a while and see what happens. It is not just that little red and black pyramid. It moves, it does things, but you got to stay there a while. They did that on purpose. You got.
I just saw it live on stream. I don't
live on stream. Did you see who that was? Did you see the?
Was that Jay-Z?
That was Jay-Z.
Yeah, I saw him doing the rock, the diamond. Yeah. That's always been his like Illuminati.
I wonder what they're saying there. I wonder
interesting.
What they're saying.
I actually have it. I never saw that too. I've had the screen pulled up for quite some time. I've seen the flash. I never saw the character there. That is hilarious that it happened literally as I was pulling the screen.
I shall be holding my 3 through reveal.
There it is again.
For two reasons. One of which we just saw flash on the screen. The other of which is the art samples, which I've seen are phenomenal. Of course, there is the risk that the commons don't look, differentiated. They don't pop like the one of ones. Certainly an issue. And we will see if they can pull it off. I think they're going to, but those are the 2 reasons I'm holding through it. Shout out to Casper, who's telling us the founder has apparently been holding the @truth handle for years now. I don't think that negates the point that he could be very well connected because of it. And I'm holding this project through reveal, but you certainly have a nice little profit right now if you don't want to risk it.
Yeah, important to look at the Twitter thing. I know that this doesn't necessarily mean everything, but it does say joined December 2022, which means I think that handle has been ported over to this account. But this definitely predates most of the NFT action going on. So interesting stuff going on there.
Yeah. So, I'm very excited about this art. And I do think if you are holding it, you might as well hold like until an hour before the reveal. I don't think it's dipping any more pre-reveal. In fact, if anything, I think it could creep back up to 0.5, 0.6 for you to get out if you don't want to hold through the reveal. As we know, most of these things tend to go down unless the art is overwhelmingly good and people want the commons as well as the rares.
Yeah, definitely. All right, how are you feeling about doing this this giveaway now before we finish off with the flyfish story?
Yeah, I tell you what, you start ranting about that. I am gonna hop in the channel. I am going to make that giveaway right now. So if you are not a member of AlphaMint, quickly go join. Hop in the base camp. That is the AlphaMint base camp. There is an AM Pass giveaway channel. Momentarily, a giveaway will pop up there. You smash the emoji. It is going to be a flash giveaway that only lasts 10 minutes, and we will announce the winner right here on the show.
Yeah, for sure. If you're not in the Discord, go to discord.com/alphamint. I'm going to put that up on the screen for you to go. This is a free giveaway to anybody that's joined the AlphaMint Discord. You don't have to be an existing Moon Lounge pass holder. And I'm going to pull it up on the screen right there. And yeah, I think, what, are you going to do a 10-minute timer like we've done in the last few ones?
Correct.
Awesome. I'm hoping that you Degens in the Moon Lounge don't smash this emoji so that we can get somebody new up here.
Just like they didn't spam the original...
I know. I said it, and now it's going to be just like a self-fulfilling prophecy that it's going to happen now. So, oops. But yeah, is it you ready to go there? Yeah.
All right, guys. That giveaway is live. We've already had 13 entries. Get in there. Win that AlphaMint Moon Lounge pass. We want to see you up in the Degen dojo. The alpha there is unmatched.
Yeah, I mean, for those of you who are tuning in who aren't part of the Degen Dojo, I mean, we've had huge wins in the Moon Lounge time and time again. Little Lemon Friends being a huge one, Alien Friends being an absolute cook. We gave away tons of whitelists for the Cool Man's Universe project. Thanks to Jake Udell at Metalink for doing that. We're constantly giving away more whitelists. I mean, like the opportunities that have come from being in the Moon Lounge. I know this is not like, it sounds like a sales pitch, but that last little mini bear market that we had in December didn't feel like one at all. Like, because the wins just kept on stacking for Moon Lounge members. So it's been an incredible time up there. It's been an incredible community to be a part of. And hopefully we get some new people up in there. And again, if you have any questions about it, feel free to reach out to Free Market or myself, and see what we can do. We got Casper saying bought his Alpha Mint yesterday. He's stoked. Welcome to the Moon Lounge, my friend. That's very exciting, and very excited to have you.
Welcome. All right, it's running. Go smash that emoji.
Yeah, perfect. Last little project that I wanted to talk about, and I've been following it because I did mint these. I was on the OG status. Is that Land DAO project that had an absolutely atrocious Genesis drop that got botted. It sold out in like one block. All of the OGs and the first movers that were kind of promised advanced notice on minting these. I don't think anybody got any unless you were using a bot, and they opened up a limited mint to people to kind of reimburse them. I was able to mint my 3 that I got. And for a little bit there, it didn't seem to be doing much. I was like, maybe I shouldn't have minted this. It was a 0.08 mint. And in the last 24 hours, it has risen up to over 0.3 in the floor. So this mint is happening sometime next week. I'll get you the exact information. These are the Genesis ones, so they're going to be worth more than the mints that are happening next week. There's going to be 3 other tiers of them, but it's kind of like that, Web3. What was that project that had the penthouses, the large, medium, small apartments? It's kind of like in that vein. Yeah, Web3. So I just wanted to bring this up as it had been floating around. I know a lot of people in the Moon Lounge were trying to mint that when the contract went live, and again, the disaster kind of prevented it from happening. But these are seeing some volume and definitely seeing some life. So if you were attracted to that project at all, I'm happy to say that there's probably going to be a good opportunity to mint these as well. So just keep an eye out. I'll get you the exact day and some more information from the Discord. And this could be a cook. We looked at the artwork. I think you and I were both pretty fond of it. I can pull it up on the Twitter there, the tweeters. This is an influencer, Spencer, who has 150,000 followers, who just tweeted it out too. It was probably a paid promotion, if I'm being honest with you, but they have some really cool like digital metaverse. There's staking token, blah 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 blah. I did reach out to the founders of it to see if they're interested in talking, but they've been a little bit hard to get a hold of. So not holding my breath for that, but I mean, there might be something there. Is this a mint that you think you'd participate in, or just kind of watch it all go down?
Definitely. I'm really high on alt metaverse plays, and this is them. I'm so curious to see how all these kind of land plays tie into one central metaverse, or whether these are all going to be different metaverses that we go to for different reasons. So it's just like, I love the parties that World Wide Web 3 has. You see, I have a Littles party, a Kong's party, and everyone goes and congregates, and they could have little town halls. I find these plays very interesting, and I think that, of course, the alternative plays can run a lot higher given the relative valuations. So I'm always on the look for these. And Landau, which had a shaky start, has found its footing and had a cook here. So I'll be watching it close.
Yeah, I do think there's a lot of potential. The only thing that popped up on my radar with them was that it is going to be passive generation of the token and not staking. I kind of wish that wasn't a thing, but they're going the Genesis Kongs route. We're just holding it. is going to be earning you the rent token. So maybe the only thing that I'm not like, very bullish about. I think that you're probably on that page too.
Yeah, well, no question.
Yeah, I do like the idea of things being staked and locked up. It's good for supply constraint. It's good for incentivizing people to hold. And I think that it's important to have that, financial, there is a little bit of game theory, but like risk reward proposition of staking, unstaking, all of that stuff. So I'm very interested to see where it goes. I'm very happy that this project bounced back, particularly because I did mint, but they seem to be doing the right things now. So good for them. If you have any thoughts on Landau, make sure you let us know and give us your take on it too. How much time we have left on the giveaway there?
We have
4 minutes.
4 minutes left. Wow, 47 entries. Guys, go in there. Smash that emoji.
That seems like pretty good odds for a Moon Lounge pass there. One in, even if you entered right now, 2%. Just reading some of the chat right now. I think these metaverses can be mini nations in a larger ecosystem that builds the tech for them to operate seamlessly. I love that take. That's kind of a big Balaji take too, right? Like he's the idea of digital nation states and not being in not subscribing to a physical nation state, but rather a digital one. He's a huge advocate for things like that, and I think Shubhang nailed or hit the nail on the head with that statement. Hologram saying, sorry if I win another AM pass in advance. I'm trying to bring my young nephew up in it. Well, you know what? If you have somebody that you want to bring into it, then I hope that if you do win it, that's the case. I would highly encourage anybody that might already be an existing Moon Lounge member to give that to somebody else and then let them share in some of the wins and grow in NFTs as well. So I think it's a great opportunity.
Can Gas chill out? Can Vitalik do something? I've been trying to claim my block all morning, and they're trying to charge me $50 to claim my block.
Critters still doing extraordinarily strong. It's having its ups and downs, but what's block sitting on? It was 60 cents this morning or
50 60 cents or whatever. But every time those critters fall down under 1.5, I think they got down to 1.2 yesterday, they are quickly bought up. They're already back at 1.7 right now, and this is just a powder keg in my opinion. The price of block has certainly hurt how much, I'm less motivated to cash it out now. I've been stacking it, either waiting for the price of block to go up, or this morning I think I'm just going to buy land. I didn't buy land yesterday. I added all my block to the LP at 55 cents. So certainly by the end of the night when it was down to 35, I was feeling like a bit of a chump, but at least I'm back to break even right now. So
yeah, you know what? I woke up yesterday morning and block was down to, down to 39 cents or something? I think I saw at one point.
Yeah, low of 39.
I bought enough block to mint 4 plots. I minted 4 plots in a 2x2 square, as close to the main spawn and in the path of the other spawn, and then bundled them up at a premium on OpenSea. So I'm gonna see if that gets any takers on that. But I just thought that was an interesting ARB opportunity. The price of plots were sitting at about 0.2 at the time, and it seemed like there was an opportunity there. However, I mean, it does get pretty expensive when you start to mint. You do have to unstake the plots. It's not like a perfect system, but it's working. But yeah, as we see, the price is 1.8 right now. It's incredible.
It's nice to raise a little money early on. I found with these games, like sometimes, maybe if it's not your first one, but like, let's say you buy a plot of land, maybe sell your next tranche of block just to cover all your fees you're going to have. If you continue playing the game going forward, you might as well let the game pay for itself instead of you using ETH that you had for other reasons.
Free market, it looks like the giveaway just ended, and we have Alan 41898 has won the Alpha Mint Moon Lounge pass. I don't believe he is a A Moon Lounge holder, so I'm I'm happy. You know, I'm all for equal opportunity of everyone winning it, but I'm glad that we're gonna have a new Moon Lounger join
And
us.
guess what? This person is a member of the Smallverse, and we have a lot of Smallverse people in the Moon Lounge. So he's going to fit right in. Big congratulations to Alan, to Alan. We will see you up in the Moon Lounge. We are going to beam you up, sir. We are going to beam you up.
I just gave you the Moon Lounge guest role so that you can get in there right away. We will get you a pass and sign you up and make sure that you get the pass transferred over to your account and get you verified. But big congratulations to Alan, and you know, everyone give him a warm welcome in the Degen Dojo. That's awesome. Yeah, I see you pop the champagne, the Veuve.
Yes,
love it.
Yes, the Veuve. We had to. I think there is one other project I would like to talk about today, sir, and that would be Hunger Brains. So if you guys,
shit, I thought you were gonna say fly fish. We're going long today.
You're right. No. Let's do fly fish first.
Can we do how urgent is Hunger Games? Can we do? I was gonna say tomorrow.
Nope. Urgent.
It is.
Yeah. It's minting today.
Oh shit. Okay, do it.
Let me double check.
Time. I'll go. Whatever. It's Friday. Okay, we go as long as you want.
Hold on. I want to double check. No, I'm sorry. It's minting 110. We could do it tomorrow. We gave away some whitelist spots yesterday in the Moon Lounge.
It is Saturday tomorrow, free market.
It's minting on the 10th. So we're not going to be here. All right, let's talk about Hunger Brains real quick. This is a very we only took 10 minutes deciding that. This is a very cool P2E game that has a lot of, I would say, well-known people on staff. Okay, this was started by the MVHQ crew, not the official MVHQ crew, the people within that Discord. So shout out to them. They started this Hunger Brains. It is going to be zombies versus people. You choose your faction. It is a 0.069 mint. This is billed to be one of the hotter games dropping. We saw Cat and Mouse game drop, and it didn't really do well. We know Wolf game was the first of these risk protocols to get very popular. There were a bunch that seemed like derivatives or copies that came out afterwards, but Hunger Brains has put a lot into this project. This is not a fly-by-night cash grab derivative. The art is absolutely sick. I think it's going to do very well. It mints on 110. Like I said, the price is 0.069. I believe they're still giving away whitelist spots. So hop in that Discord. I will drop a link to it. But we gave away actually 15 whitelist spots last night to Hunger Brains.
Another big win for the Moon Loungers. Sorry.
Huge. Yeah, no. To our Moon Lounge members, courtesy of Maz. And I'm not going to go too in depth on it because Maz did a fabulous interview with the team last night for Bazinga, and I'm going to drop that link in our general chat that you guys should check out as well. So some really great in-depth analysis from Maz and the team themselves in that video. We're bullish on Hunger Games. I'm going to mint myself, and I won whitelist actually within the Hunger Games Discord for being an active member. And truth be told, I wasn't that active, so I was pretty surprised. But I was very happy to take.
Them that they're going to be looking for your wallet, like.
No. So yeah, awesome stuff, and we're looking forward to that game. And I will drop the Discord in the general chat.
Am I right in seeing that this Fly Frogs is minting at 11? Is that like coming up in like
Fly Frogs
or Fly Fish? Sorry, Fly Fish Club.
Yes. That's coming down in 18 minutes. I know a bunch of Moonland members may be in the voice chat for that one. It's going to be. A lot of people think that the higher end passes, which are going to mint for 4.5 ETH, can get up to 10. Let's talk about this project a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. So for those of you that don't know, back in November, I quit my restaurant career of 20 years to start doing NFTs, join up with Alpha Mint, and honestly, it's been like career wise, been the best decision I feel like I've ever made. But this is it feels like it's coming back full circle with the world's first NFT restaurant headed up by Gary V coming into existence. These are a 500 supply. Oh no, sorry, there's more than that. 1,500. I completely misread something there. Anyways, this is going to be a NFT based thing where I believe, if you can correct me wrong, you kind of own the seat. You can rent out your NFT for access into the restaurant. You want to provide me with some color on that?
Yeah, you can. You'll be able to rent these out. And there are two levels. One would be your standard membership. And I believe the second level of membership gets you into the private room with the, I guess it's called the omakase room. And it's a much more luxurious experience. Omakase, if you don't know, is in Japanese, it is when the chef decides what you are going to eat. It is up to him what is good that day. And it's almost exclusively how I eat in sushi restaurants.
This, we were talking in the pre-show about this, about how restaurants are so ripe for disruption. Obviously, we've seen the advent of the delivery apps kind of come into play. They take pretty exorbitant fees on top of the sales and whatnot. But for the most part, restaurants by and large have remained very old school. COVID has kind of kickstarted a change in that industry, but I think that this is such an interesting idea. If you owned an NFT membership to a very exclusive high-end restaurant like the Gary V is promoting here, I think the opportunities are endless. Like, you could own that seat. You could collect a royalty every time somebody is sitting at that table on the bill that they do, or if it's the access to the restaurant is based on the NFT holding, renting out your NFT. So basically selling reservations through it. You could promote your own table for celebrities. Like, imagine Jay-Z owning a table at Fly Fish. Saying, "Oh, I went and rented Jay-Z's NFT and sat at his table there." Maybe it can be personalized in that regard too. I think there's so many awesome things that can be done with this. And I'm excited to see that it's Gary V doing it, because it's not going to be an easy task. Getting restaurants off the ground in general are difficult, but I think he's got the pull and the sway to promote this properly, get some hype around it. And like, once this thing opens, I think I saw somewhere to like 2025. Like, I want to be there.
Yeah, I really enjoy a fine dining experience, and I think this appeals to people who enjoy similar. And I think it's going to do very, very well. And whoever is lucky enough to mint these can probably sell them to wealthy people for a very nice markup here over the next few days, weeks, and months.
It is going to be in New York City. Is this something you're looking at?
Yes, I am absolutely looking at it. I am even trying to figure out what I can sell to at least snipe one of the lower end ones.
This is going to be awesome. So good luck to anybody participating in this mint. My computer is just absolutely on the fritz. I cannot get out of this screen. Perfect. Love when this happens. But yeah,
on the fritz.
we'll keep an eye out on that. On that note, I think we're getting to the point where we could start to wrap up the show and let you guys go and mint that if you want to. I will drop the restream link into the AM show chat that still exists at the top of the Discord. If you guys want to come join us up on stage to come hang out with us, ask us any questions and whatnot, we'll do that. I think we could probably dedicate another 15-20 minutes to this, and then we'll wrap it up for the weekend. So the link is up there in the AM show chat. You can join us. You don't have to turn your video on. There's no doxing, no accounts to be made. It's pretty easy once you get in there and get the permissions set properly. The mint is at 11, so it's coming up in about 15 minutes, 13 minutes. And I don't, Jesus, I can't even scroll down on it right now. Fuck, I gotta close the browser. Anyways, yeah. So what's your plan for the weekend here? What do you got? What are you looking at? You playing some Minecraft? Or you still renting them out?
Well, I'm very looking forward to claiming back all my critters from the deadbeats who I rented them to for 0 and actually getting a price for them, because as these critters have gained in value and popularity, you can now actually get a renting price for your critters. So yes, I will be renting my critters out again. I'll tell you what I'm watching even right now would be that Blue Cat Lemon Floor, which, like EtherOrcs, is one of the largest blind spots in all of NFTs right now. There are 2 Blue Cats at 0.99 and 1.1. The next jump is to 1.5. And this is one of the sneakier alphas in this collection, as I believe these Blue Cats will go for the same price as some of the more rarer lemons, like the Secret Society hoodies, mainly because of the cool cat effect. 94 Blue Cats, 5,000 cool cat owners. Every cool cat owner needs a blue cat. I'm sure Shubs will go LOL in the chat right now because he's not going to buy a blue cat at this ridiculously inflated price. But that is what I am watching right now. Blue cats are cheap.
Yeah, I saw some big, not to pump my own lemon bags, but I saw some blue Sammies going purple samurai hats going for a pretty reasonable price. I did list mine for a price that I don't believe it will sell at.
Two went for 1.5. One went for 1.5. Then about an hour later, one went for 1.2, which were egregiously underpriced. The floor on these right now is 3.
2.5. Yeah.
2.5. Yeah. And
did you ever end up getting one either?
I bought 2 of them.
Oh, good for you. Nice.
I sniped 2 of them for under 0.4. I couldn't believe, look.
Was that that was one of the ones that you were kind of lacking in your collection too, right?
I didn't mint any, so I was there were a few things I didn't mint, and of course it's a very large collection, so even as I tried to go snipe the ones that were important to me, I'm still missing a few. I need a cow suit, I need a Secret Society hoodie, I need a black and white. Okay. I mean, I need these things in my life.
You need a black background?
A black and white. Stop trying to sell me your black background. I have a black background.
What's the black and white?
Oh my! What? You do not know the black and whites?
No. Oh. I'm not trying to sell you my black background. I've got some juicy rep offers on that.
You have hawked it. You have hawked it to me multiple times. Don't lie.
I was going to give it to you for a Christmas gift, and you just made fun.
Look at what I just did. I screwed myself.
That's it. This is the final AM show. Morning show's done. The black background has torn us apart.
I gotta find the black and whites for you. How do I search for that? Let's see.
You're the lemon expert here, man.
I know.
If we can't look to you for guidance, who can we?
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna organize by highest to lowest price. That would be the easiest way to find them because they're quite expensive.
What's your what are you jamming out on some lemon spaces later today? Is that the rest of your day looking like?
Yeah, I will be attending a lemon spaces after this, the morning squeeze. Luckily, it wasn't 24 straight hours of squeeze yesterday, but the big news is the town hall tomorrow, the first Little Lemons town hall. There's a lot of hype and smoke around this town hall, and I will be planning my day around it.
What's the odds? The odds that someone like Gary V jumps in there?
I think it's pretty good. Gary he's either going to decide he likes these things and buy them or not. We don't know, but we do know that he likes hype trains. He likes to insert himself in them and he likes to play them up. Now, lemons have had 2 spaces a day every day since they've minted. There are a few communities out there this young and this passionate. I think if Gary does recognize and see that, there's a very good chance he would hop in the spaces and that would send these things parabolic and over 1 ETH without question. There's a supply crisis brewing. Even when the floor goes quiet and starts to dump, you see rares being sniped, right? You see people shopping 10 to 20% above the floor for the lemon they like. That means when the next floor sweep does happen, that those levels above it are so thin that this goes parabolic really quick. So I don't know exactly what's going to happen Saturday, but I would say there's a pretty good chance. Gary hops in. I did put the black and white lemon in both the AM show chat and the general chat. I find these utterly stunning.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, the only ones for sale are slightly out of my price range, but there were ones going for 1 ETH the day of the release, and yeah, I'll rue the day I did not snipe one of those. One of my favorites in the collection. They look great. They look great.
One day, maybe somebody will fat finger one, and you'll see it sitting there for the taking.
I have some rares that I would certainly, if it lined up properly, I would sell 2 rares to get a black and white, no question.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah,
I think that's a good idea.
That's why I bought 2 Sammys and 2 Blue Cats.
Coolman's taking a little bit of a breather from their 1.2 ETH floor now, sitting at 0.87.
Yeah. I gotta just natural.
Say I bought a couple of these. Did you see these squishy apes that we bought? We degened into yesterday?
No, I didn't. I notoriously don't buy ape derivatives, but show them to me.
Yeah, no, I'll pull it up right here. And this is like the one I bought. You know what? I bought a couple for 0.08. These were like a 0.01 mint, and they went down yesterday. I actually just thought they looked good, so I bought a couple for 0.08, and they're below that price right now, but I don't feel bad about it. But in terms of like derivative projects and stylizations, you might love it or you might hate it, but I actually think these are pretty clean looking squishy apes and low supply too. We've got 3,333 of them, so the volume was pretty nuts on them yesterday. I know that you don't love these things, but I just figured it was a bit of a flyer. Every once in a while you gotta let the degen out.
I gotta tell you, I'm softening on my position. I've definitely seen some ape derivatives that I've enjoyed recently, including
look at this guy.
Those 3D babies. Remember we liked those? The community
Ape Kids Club.
Ape Kids Club, yeah.
Yeah, they were good too.
Yeah, they were good.
I don't know, man. I look at this, I'm like, damn, that's at least quality. There was effort. It wasn't a no effort, scaled down, and whatever it is. So,
right.
All right, my friend. We hadn't have anybody jump up on the stage with us, but that's all right. I think everybody is getting ready for this Gary V mint, and I don't blame them for that at all. That's going down in 5 minutes, so I think that we could probably just wrap this up and move on with our weekend. We are, of course, going to be taking the weekend off. We'll be back 9:30 Monday morning for the show. I'm sure we'll have lots to talk about then. But for the meantime, if you missed any of the show, if you tuned in late, if this is your first time watching, if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button on YouTube. It does help us out a lot. I don't love doing that. Make sure to like and subscribe or whatever, but it does just a little thing to help us out. We appreciate it if you enjoyed the show. And as always, these will be recorded and uploaded onto YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Free market, anything you want to finish us off with?
Good luck at the tables, Degens.
Nailed the S.